Hey everyone, and welcome to a new open Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 series. In this series, I will go through all the RCT1 parks, but I will make them beautiful. I will try to give each scenario that I play a distinct theme, and I will give all the coasters that are rides that are in the park from the beginning a big overhaul. So this is actually something that has been requested quite a lot over the years that I've been making videos. People really want to see me play scenarios in a beautiful way. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to start with Forest Frontiers. So let's just open up the park, blah blah blah. Now for this series I'm not really interested in beating the scenarios. I want to make them look really nice in a pretty short amount of time. So I'm just going to go to the cheat menu and let's find the button that I need. Win scenario. There we go. We've achieved the objective with a company value of 0. Beautiful. Alright. Another cheat I'm going to use. No money. I want to build something that's beautiful very fast. So I need money for that. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, first something that I'm also going to do is make sure that I have all the rides and scenery available that I want. Because the scenery that's available in this scenario is really very limited. And I really want to make beautiful stuff. So I'm going to need more than that. Anyway, I'll first just get started selecting everything in the object selection. I'll skip this in the video because it's boring to watch. And then after that, I'll start working on a nice fence around the park. So what I have in mind for this park is something a bit more foresty than it is now. Basically, I want to have a fine fence, or a fence around it with big vines. I want to have something like huge custom trees in the park and big wooden rides. Probably you could say something like elfish or hobbit-ish, something like that. Not really sure. Anyway, time to get started. Alright, as you can see, I've now added these vines around the park. Added some foliage on and around them, did some ground texturing. I think especially the ground texturing made it look a bit nicer. Put some flowers on top, some bushes around it, etc. And I made this arch here over the park entrance. Now, I'm actually going to make this original park entrance invisible. And I'm gonna hide these park fences. As you can see, I used the cheat to own all land. That's just to give me a little bit more flexibility here around the map. So I want to use the original owned land that the map has, but I just expanded it a little bit just so I could build some of these vines a little bit around it. Just to give me a little bit more flexibility here. These vines also take up a bit of the land. So actually the land that I have available here is smaller than what you usually have in the original scenario. Because of course in the original scenario you don't have vines. Anyway, going to hide these fences and I'm going to give this park a nice entrance. Because of course this is unacceptable. Now I want to keep these squirrels here as they are so iconic. I'm simply going to hide this entrance and I'm going to make yeah, a park entrance that's more suitable for a park like this over here. So it's going to be a bit bigger. It will have some cashiers, maybe an actual entrance gate with some security guards, etc. Alright, we now have an entrance that I think is quite befitting to a park of this theme and this size. No longer just a small entry building, but now it actually has an entrance gate with ticket counters. And there's also a gate here where then the tickets get checked. And I also froze some security guards in place here who will then actually check the tickets of the guests. Well, you'll have to pretend they do. They're just frozen in place here. Anyway, yeah, a park is nothing without some attractions. So I will now just start on the area right next to the entrance where I will build some rides. Alright, I've made a custom merry-go-round here. I called it Fairy Go Round. So yeah, it's actually a shoestring ride. You can actually see the control track underground here. Well yeah, it's the first real ride of the park. Not very exciting ride, but I think it looks pretty cool. So I just made some of these wooden floors under it, gave it a little nice roof, and you can see these horses going around here. So yeah, pretty simple ride, but making a shoestring like this is actually pretty complex to do if you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, yeah, we probably also need some shops and stalls here, so I'm going to make a little area here for that. Alright, with that little restaurant made, I now want to work on the first coaster of the park. I think it will also be the only coaster of the park. So with this space that I have here, I kind of want to make a wooden coaster over here in this area. And over here, I think I want to build a water ride. And with that, the park is already quite filled up. So yeah, for this wooden coaster, I kind of want to make it a bit fantastic or a bit fantasy-like. So yeah, the layout will not be very realistic. I'm thinking of having a station somewhere over here. Chain lift will go up, and I want to have it drop down here. And I want to have several spirals in the layout. That's something you would see on real wooden coasters. I think it might look good, especially with these vines surrounding it. So I kind of want to make the wooden coaster look organic. So yeah, let's see what layout I can come up with. And if the spiral approach doesn't work, I'll just make it look more realistic. Let's see. Let's get started and see what happens. Alright, the wooden coaster is now done. The layout turned out a little bit more realistic than I anticipated from beforehand, so a little bit less spirally. But yeah, I did make it quite twisty, and I put some of these custom trees in between. I'll probably tweak this a little bit over time, but for now this is what these trees will be. Now this coaster still looks quite bland. That's of course because it doesn't have a station yet. And also the landscaping in between here definitely needs some work. Maybe I'll add some water pools, some hills, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best to try and make the land here in the middle of the coaster look a little bit more interesting. Alright, I think yeah, this station and all the extra foliage really brings this area to life. Yeah, added some extra supports next to the coaster. Of course, these custom trees, some of the greenery here on top. And of course, I also built a station here. And instead of building a complex roof, I instead built a tree on top of the roof. Again, lots of greenery, and I think what really helps make this area come together is all this greenery that grows down on the side of this building. I think that really finishes it. It's just a nice detail on the side of this building here. Anyway, I'm probably going to do a little bit of touch up here and there, but this area is now mostly complete. And yeah, we just have this area over here to fill up. I think this will be a nice area to put a water ride. I'm thinking of either a splash boat ride or a log flume. But with that, I think the park should be complete. Alright, that's the log flume complete. So as you can see, quite a long layout. I think it's a nice way just to fill up this part of the park. I also made a queue which I decorated with some of these, just some of these flower lamps. Also put some of these arches over it, made of bushes. Just put gardens around it. I think overall it looks quite nice. It also passes under the track several times, just for that little queue interaction. I do see I need to do some work here, because I actually hit some of these supports by putting the track pieces under surface. Then after that I put water under it. Well, yeah. That's definitely something you shouldn't do, because then the track pieces can sometimes become invisible. So I'll have to work on that. But other than that, there's just some more detailing to do here and there. But yeah, we're nearing the finish of this park. So that's really nice. Alright, and the final touch of the park will be another toilet, and it will be in the form of what I like to place in a lot of my parks, a tree of life, as I like to call it. Here we go. Let's call it tree of life, and it's actually a beanstalk. And I may always make these by making the toilets invisible. There we go. So yeah, now the guests can actually pee on this beanstalk if they like to. Anyway, yeah, that's going to be all that I'm gonna build in this park. So let's take a quick tour and see everything that I have built in this Forest Frontiers park. So I started off with the vines around the park. You can see them all around this area. So they just consist of roller coaster track. I tried to make it look a little bit random. Put lots of flowers and bushes on top of here. I think that actually makes for a nice park fence around the park. And it's also to make a distinct border between all this area with the pines and this more lush area of the park. Of course, here I made this arch over the original entrance path. Then I made the actual entrance here. You can see some of these ATMs here, which act as the ticket machines or the ticket counters. Put a little fountain here in front. And then here, there's the actual entrance gates. Throw some security guards here in place where the guest tickets actually get checked. Then I put this ferry go-round here. It's a simple shoestring ride. If you don't know what a shoestring is, well, I've made some videos which explain how to do a shoestring. Basically, there's this is one long train, and the front vehicle of this train is actually underground on a track going around, and that one controls how these vehicles move. And right now they just do a simple track where these just keep spinning around in an infinite loop. But yeah, it's just a simple way to make your own merry-go-round in a more nice way than the normal merry-go-rounds look. I should probably give it some music, not that we will hear it now, because I actually play with the sound turned off, but you can imagine some music here. Let's go with water style, why not? Yeah, I also made a little restaurant here. Yeah, I don't know why this is here. It looks like there's actually some junk in there. Alright, not really sure what that is. Let me quickly figure that out. Alright, it turns out the junk was actually an invisible footpath with all edges connected. And apparently the game then just draws a random sprite there for some reason. So yeah, it might be a bug that I'll definitely report to the developers of the game. Anyway, yeah, that was another distraction. Anyway, that was a little restaurant. Also made a little seating area here, but it's actually not functional. So the guests will just have to walk around the park to look for a seating area. I made one over here. Just has a nice view of the log flume here. After that I made this wooden coaster here. I gave it some unusual colors, and that the supports are white. And the track is this faint purple. So yeah, it's quite a simple layout, but still it's also quite unusual that it's very twisty. So yeah, curved first drop, twisty track, it goes under the track here. It's a twisty hill over here. Here's another spiral. Here it dives under the track once again. Here it goes over the queue path. Then it goes through this foresty area here once again. Another final spiral before it returns back to the station. And for the station, I made it quite tall with huge windows. I like that you can actually see the guests queuing here. And on top of the roof, I put down another tree. Lots of foliage with a lot of leaves hanging down from the walls. Here I put some huge custom trees. Yeah, I was inspired by these trees by some of Mulpia's earlier entries. They have great custom trees. I think these trees definitely add to the atmosphere of this area. They definitely stand out. Alright, and then finally I built this log flume here. Here you can see the station again in the same style as this station, except I did the windows and walls in a bit of a different fashion. Again, some of these nice towers with some of these spires from one of the Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 expansions. I believe it's yeah, from the European set. Yeah, the log flume itself, yeah, just quite a stretched out layout. So over here it starts with this reverser section, which actually merged, so it goes in a 90-degree direction. So it here it reverses again, and then finally travels up this large this large slope here. I've actually put it on top of some inverted coaster track to make it look like it's on top of tree trunks or tree or roots, whatever. Over it climbs up, goes around the tree, and then finally here there's a big splashdown. And again, some more of these same supports. I think the supports look pretty nice. Next to the splash down track here, you can see this wooden track here, or this wooden path here. And yeah, just this is where the guests that want to can get splashed here, or they can just simply watch the log flume. Finally over here, little seating area, just a lot more foliage here. Alright, yeah, this was my first rendition of an RCT1 park, but beautiful. I really like what this Forest Frontiers park became, and I really cannot wait to start on the next one, which I believe is Dynamite Dunes. And I have some nice ideas for that park actually. Let me quickly fix this, because I saw this track going invisible here for a while. But yeah, this park will be available for download from my Discord server. You can find the link in the video description. A big shout out to my patrons, which I will show on the screen right now. Thanks a lot for supporting me. Yeah, just really appreciate it. And definitely keeps me motivated to make nice videos like these, which actually take quite a lot of time. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like. It would really help out my channel and it would make me really happy. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.